Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Flaminia, a native from Italy, and I'm currently on university exchange in Edinburgh, Scotland. So I've been here for a month and a half basically, and this is the first time I get to record an actual podcast. The last video was my fall knitting plans, so if you want to watch that to see what's coming, it's my last video. And I'm full of things to talk about, you guys. Oh my goodness. I am also thinking about maybe in some time filming a Q&A video, just because if I would just to put all of the things into a podcast episode, it will be probably like 2 hours long. So if you have some questions, if you have some questions or things you want me to discuss in a possible like knit and chat Q&A type of thing, let me know. But let's just get into the knitting. What do you think? I am so excited. I'm here for the fall vibes, and even if the weather is absolutely terrible today outside, I feel like the lighting is okay. I'm sorry if it might change, but I like the vibes. The vibes are giving fall and are giving cozy knitting, stay at home while watching Disney movies and baking, which is my favorite vibes. So yeah, I'm also sorry if I don't know, I feel like I usually don't wear makeup to record, just because I don't feel like putting makeup just to record an episode, and I feel like with the right colors I look good enough. I feel like I'm a bit maybe getting self-conscious while I watch other podcasters and they always have like flawless makeup on, and I'm like, I'm not that, but I guess just things change. I'm wearing not something that I knitted. This is like 100% cashmere sweater. I feel like, you can see it kind of has a more masculine fit because it has like broader shoulders and also like actual bigger sleeves. So I feel like it was maybe my dad's, but he never wore it kind of thing. So what can I say? And it's also matching with my ring. So it's one of my favorite sweaters that I didn't knit myself. So this is what I'm wearing. I've considered actually like ripping it back to knit something myself, but to be honest, I really love this. So I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to keep it this way. It has like some lovely cables on the sides, and it's very big and oversized and warm and cozy. So we love that. And so we have two finished objects. One is a hat, one is a garment. I have two new sweater whips. One is almost done, actually. I mean, not almost, because it takes a long time, but it's definitely more than halfway done. And one I cast it on like this week. And then I have quite a bit of acquisitions. I didn't go crazy while like just arriving here, but I'm trying to save money each month so I can buy some sweater quantities, and I'm so excited. So let's talk about basically the elephant in the room. This is a test knit that I made, and from one of my all-time favorite designers, and actually human being, like not just her work but also like her as a person. I love her so much. So I don't know, I felt so honored that she chose me, and I never would have thought that I had chances. And I just love this. So I test knitted the Maxine sweater for Laura Penrose. Oh my goodness, I feel like it looks fabulous. This is, I think, my best color work yet. Like the way like it looks printed, it looks so even. It looks like, yeah, it is legit printed onto the main fabric of the sweater. And I don't know, I feel like the color combo is top notch, and I feel like it fits me quite well. I'm kind of more like a higher contrast girly, I think. So this is it. I made a lot of modifications on this swatch. So this with the lighter pink was the first swatch that I made when I was at home with yarns I had at home, but most of them, like the main color is the one that I wanted to use, and I wanted to see if I could use some stash yarn, and if some of the other yarns I wasn't super convinced, I could just buy them, okay, to make it match. And in the end, I ended up substituting the lilac. I mean, I have the lilac in my sweater, but this lilac is a bit too bright at the point where it kind of blends in a bit too much with the gray. And the pink was like super wash, and the blue was also super wash, so I didn't feel like it matched. Like, I didn't feel like the colorwork itself looked very, like, it looks even, but I was like, I think it could be better. And so I was like, I'm going to wait to get here and go to the Scottish Yarn Festival to purchase some just Scottish yarn. I feel like, yeah, oh my goodness, all of the yarns from this sweater are from the UK, so this is literally my UK sweater, and most of them are from Scotland, so I'm so happy. My mom purchased a 1 kilo of this like tweedy just like magenta-ish, purplish, tweedy yarn. It's very much 100% wool, and it's very like rustic, and you know, it's kind of those like that they feel like dry, kind of rustic, you know? It's that. And I just didn't want to swatch all over again, but I wasn't convinced that I liked the, like, it's cute. I feel like this sweater looks good with any yarn combination. I just wanted it to be very perfect and like perfectly suited for what my tastes are. So I really like this like low contrast and high contrast situation, but I feel like this was more of my comfort zone. So I didn't want to do everything, like do the swatch all over again. So I duplicate stitched it over. That's why it looks super thick. And yeah, I didn't block this, so it didn't like, but I just wanted to get the, you know, overall vibes of what the colors were going to look like together. So this is the swatch, and I'm so glad I made a swatch for the actual thing. For the first time in my life, I was actually on gauge. Mental, I know, without having to go up in sizes. So finally, this sweater is like a DK weight yarn, and it is knitted with a DK weight yarn. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. And main yarn is Kinross 4-ply by WIP Yarns. The lamb's wool one, you know, they have a more rustic one and a lamb's wool one. Legit feels like cashmere almost. It's like, it feels super luxurious. And yeah, just let me unfold the sweater so you can actually, oh my goodness, see it all. Look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. The yoke, so fun, so fun. But basically this lamb's wool has tons of spinning oil in it, and like so much spinning oil that when, you know, I was stretching the sleeve, it didn't like go back. It literally like stayed like this for how much oil it had. I got rid of most of it, and you can see it's like super dense, and like it filled out so much. The ribbing looks like so clean. Like, can you see this? Like, do you see this? And I didn't even use like techniques to make it more even, like knitting it inside out. This is what it looks like inside out. It's like, may I dare say perfect? But like, I feel like ribbing tension, it's pretty good anyways, but I don't know. I feel like I get neater tension with 1x1 rib and not with 2x2 rib. This, immaculate. Like, look at this. Okay, it's another WIP, but look at this. Wow. Okay. Shooting my own horn, I guess. This was kind of a pain to knit, and I was contemplating doing just, because you have many options. You have either folded over turtleneck or folded down like a crew neck. And she has, like, Laura just finished a very lovely crew neck one. So I'm very happy, it looks good either way. But as I'm here in Scotland now, and when moving, I forgot my like windproof cowl. I was like, I don't have anything to cover my neck, and I don't know how windy and cold it gets yet. So I was like, I might as well do the chunky turtleneck version now. And let me tell you guys, this is like so warm, because like with washing it and getting rid of the spinning oil, like, it was already dense-ish, but it has some holes, but it just bloomed so much. And basically this is like a windproof sweater. It's super, super warm. So I think that when I go back home to wear it, I will just, unfortunately, because this was a lot of work, but I will fold. Like, I will frog back a bit of the turtleneck and then just fold it and do the crew neck version. Yeah, there's something about, like, I never do folded over turtlenecks because it's never, like, where I live, it doesn't get just cold enough for a folded over turtleneck to make sense. So I don't know, there's something that it just gives off cozy vibes by looking at it. So I love this so much. I love it so much. But the pattern was super clear, and you get very nice modifications. I already told you that you can do either folded over, like folded down crew neck, or folded over turtleneck, like this one. It's all 2x2 rib, but you don't start by doing that. You just cast on at the base of the neck, and then you have to pick up the neck afterwards. So you start by casting out here, and basically it has a, like, she's so clever with her designs and her grading. She's a genius. Like, I never thought about this, but I have other round yoke sweaters, and they all like are a bit too tight on the shoulders, and they kind of bunch, just like they're a bit too tight on the shoulders. So when I wear it, kind of bunches up like this, because I have the tension from my shoulders kind of pulling the sweater out, and it's not like laying flat and round as it should. And that's because I already knew that. And she, like, if you don't understand what I'm saying and you feel like I'm not explaining it well enough, she has I will link her podcast episode where she explains it, and I understood, so she's really clear. So you will understand from that. I'll try to do my best. You know, knitted garments go off of chest circumference, and I am trying to grade my own pattern, so I do understand the struggle. Basically, yeah, it goes off by chest circumference, and the other measurements are just like on average what it is expected, you know, your measurements to be like with, you know, just a given chest circumference. If you look at me in, like, you know, from head to toe, I'm pretty, I think, well proportioned. But I'm small chested because, like, you know, my shoulders are bigger than what they should be for my bust circumference, but it's not the shoulders the problem. Like, they're not the problem. They're proportioned to the rest of my body, but my chest is smaller than the rest of my body. So if I choose a size based on my chest, the shoulders are going to be too big, kind of thing. So that's why you get the puckering on here. Like, I knew that it was for my shoulders because I I could see that, but I'm like, how the heck am I going to fix that? Like, it's just how I am. Like, how am I going to change that? Basically, she has a modification where you can go up in yoke size without going up in like bust circumference size. And that is just such a genius way to go about doing a circular yoke. Wow. And it fits really well, but I made like a huge mistake. Well, I'll get to it in a minute. So yeah, this, oh my goodness, this color work, very, I think, beginner friendly, especially the little diamonds here. They're super, super easy. You have longer floats here, but like, and you know, in like here, but they are not really that long for it to be difficult. So because I caught the floats here. I usually don't catch my floats because I don't know if it's just the way I do it, but sometimes you can see when I catch floats from the outside of the fabric. So I try to not do that very often because that's just how it works for me. But yeah, you could just not catch the float. I don't even think I did. I don't know. You know, it's not, I feel like you could just not catch the floats and it will be fine. It will be fine. Basically, when I did my testing application, she was like, if you're okay knitting more than one size, like you could just, oh, that's better. You could just like put 2 sizes if you were okay knitting 2 sizes, or 3 sizes if you want to gift knit, something like that. That's very nice. I applied for both size 3 and size 4, and I got into the test knit with the size 4, which was already a size up from what the pattern recommended for my bust size. She recommended a certain amount of ease for the 3rd size, but I was okay having the ease of the 4th size. And I got into the 4th size, which was already a size up from what I should have knit. So I didn't do the yoke modification to go up a size because it was already up a size, and I was like, I can just make the whole garment bigger and I wouldn't mind. So that's what I did, or at least that's what I thought. Basically what happened is that, like, while I was trying it on, I could see that the fit was just perfect and I loved how it fits and I loved it. I was so thrilled. And once you finish the color work and you finish the short rows, the body just flies. Sleeves fly. It's just, this was just so fun to knit. So it's not like I stopped. And I did the sleeves, both of them, the ribbing, the 2x2 tubular bind off, which, you know, it doesn't take that much for this small of a circumference, but it's still a lot of work. And then you also have on the body either a normal hem or a split hem modification. And just the split hem, I was intrigued by it. I usually don't do it, not because I don't like how it looks. I like how it looks. That's just because I don't feel the need to do it, like, practically. You know, I could just do the normal one and it would have been fine, the fit wise, but I want to try something different, so I did the split hem. But basically, of course, you know, doing the split hem, you just, if you're not familiar, you work the body in the round, and then when it comes to a split hem, you just put half of the stitches on hold and just work the ribbing flat. But the math wasn't mathing for me, and I was like, I know Laura and her editor, they work really hard to make the pattern as good as it can be before putting it into test. So I didn't think it was the pattern problem, but I really couldn't understand where because I regraded, like I went backwards with the math in the pattern and her math was correct. So I was like, I couldn't understand it. And I was just, oh my goodness, what did I do? Basically, what I did was after I finished the last colorwork chart, these little diamonds, in the pattern, there is another 2 rounds, like another 1 round of increasing. And I just keep that for some reason. I just thought, I mean, I don't know if I assumed it was done or just, you know, there are sections, you know, that's how the pattern is laid out. You have like each chart is a section. So you have section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 5. And maybe because I thought it was the last section, I didn't maybe given enough attention to read through all of it. And it's just, you know, there's section and then there is, you know, the instructions. And of course, like it's not her fault, it's not her layout fault, but because there's no space in between the instructions in the single like section. I didn't read it and I didn't notice, because, you know, if it wasn't for my body, for my split hem modification and stitch counts not being right, I never would have realized that something was wrong. And so yeah, but basically I just, you know, I followed size 4 yoke and I forgot an increase, so I didn't have, basically had the amounts of stitches on the yoke while I finished it before the short rows were between size 3 and size 4, I think, but I went on with the instructions, the splitting for body and sleeves instructions of size 4. And you know how it goes, usually, you know, center, you know, you have your beginning of round in the center back, and you go like, these are not the right numbers, but knit 50, put 25 on hold, knit 100, put 25 on hold, knit 50, so your back and your front are that you have the same amount of stitches, right? And so I did the 50, the 25, the 100, the 25, and then I thought I did 50, but I just assumed it was correct, and I didn't actually count that, you know, the second half of the back body's part, that it was actually 50, which is something I was supposed to do. I don't know why I didn't do that. So basically I have my back split, like my back body stitch counts, which are different from my front, and my front is bigger than my back. And it just, you know, it didn't make too much of a difference. But when I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, do I have to frog the whole thing back? And if you've seen my project vlogs lately, or my podcast, or if you follow me, you know I'm all about ripping back to make it better, because I never regretted ripping something back. But maybe it was for the utility of the garment. It was just very cold compared to my standards, of course. So I really want to have a really warm thing to keep my neck warm, because none of my jackets have like a neck protection. So either because I really wanted to have it done and I needed to have it done, and because I wouldn't have mind doing it the whole thing over again, because it was so fun. But you know, I'm all about ripping back to make the fit better. But there is a reason why I didn't realize before. It was just because it fit very well. So I was like, it's not that big of an issue where your fit is actually like it just destroys everything. It wasn't that type of mistake. And I was like, oh my goodness, is she going to tell me to rip the whole thing back? Laura is very nice, and she said, are you crazy to rip back that? Even like, basically she said, if that's all right for you, it's all right for me, kind of thing. Just when you fill in the thing, what's called, the feedback form, just mention it, which makes sense. But yeah, and I was like, if I rip it back, it would just because I would do it just because it is a test knit. I don't know if this wasn't a test knit, if I would have ripped it back, you know, if it wasn't a test knit. I don't know about that. If it was just a personal project, maybe I just would leave it, and that's what I did. And where is it? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can definitely see what I mean. You know, here is the center back, and it's pretty much in the center, but it slants to one side because I needed the 50, 25, 100, 25, and I needed not 50, but maybe like 30 here. So it slants to one side, and that's how I noticed the mistake, because I was like, that's supposed to be, you know, it's not that noticeable, so that's why I didn't notice before. Like, okay, but why is that? Doesn't make any sense. It does. So the pattern is very much correct, and I was wrong, and I had no doubts about that. And it affects the fit a little bit, because as basically I did the short rows before splitting for sleeves, so it was like the short rows were centered before splitting for sleeves. But as my front is bigger than my back, it means that the short rows are like offset, and one shoulder has more short rows than the other shoulder. So like, I think on this side, on the right side, it just puckers up, like just on this side and not on this side. But I feel like I'm not that bothered by it. I can feel a bit in general that the back doesn't have as much ease as the front, because it is, you know, pulling the front back a little bit, and I get sometimes a bit of puckering. But I'm noticing that, you know, I feel like when I really press my sweaters down when I block them. So, you know, first time that I wore it, you had this very like straight and like flat seam that just sticked out. But while I was wearing it, I wore it so much already, like 5 times since I finished it. I could feel it like molding to my shoulders more, so that the puckering wasn't that prominent. And it really bothers me, because, you know, trying it on before splitting for sleeves, it was perfect, you know, no puckering whatsoever, super well done. So you won't get the slight puckering if you actually follow the pattern correctly, which is, you know, that's why because she's one of my favorite people and my favorite designers ever. So I was like, I really don't want to do a bad job as a tester. Yeah, that was most of, I just couldn't go to sleep. I was so angry with myself that I couldn't go to sleep. Just a roller coaster of emotions. But just to say that this pattern, it's amazing, and I love it so much. And I may rip it back if it keeps bothering me next winter when I'm home. Hi guys, Flamine from the future here. I just wanted to reinforce that the issues that I'm describing to you are just very, very, very minor, and you can barely see them. I'll put in some videos on what it looks like on just like when I'm wearing it and walking around, and you can barely see them. But I just wanted to like really break down my mistakes so you guys could understand, and so you know that if this minor mistake bothers you, that's not going to be in the pattern. So that's why I keep talking about it, because I just had enough yarn to finish like this. I used 8 skeins of Kinross for ply, so like 400 grams. I mean, a bit of it went into the swatch. So, and I have like this much left over, like ball wise. I have a ball this big, so pretty much used all of the yarn. And I know that if I actually, you know, do the increases correctly and I knit the correct size on the body, is going to take more yarn. But I feel like maybe ripping a bit of the color back, it will work, and I might just grab one more skein before going back to Italy. But I'll insert pictures on how it fits because I haven't yet, and I've been talking for a half an hour about this project, but it's all worth it. And I mean, I'm so obsessed. Don't you see how gorgeous it is? The color choice, not to again just praise myself too much, but at the start I had regretted it a bit. Me and Laura, we have very different like colors. I'm definitely more Mediterranean and have darker hair, darker skin, darker things, and she has more of a British skin tone and lighter hair, and she did a bit more of a like autumny neutral version, which I know it's not like something that I would maybe choose to do. Like, this is very much my color palette, and so it made sense in my mind that I didn't choose what she chose, because that's just not what I would go for just naturally. But I loved how it looks, and I was like, is it going to give me the same vibes with the more like colorful color palette? But I think it looks beautiful. And oh, also didn't mention, there is like, this is the 6 color version, so 1 main color and 5 contrast colors, but there is also a 3 colors version. It's basically like her Maxine hot water bottle cover. I didn't mention it. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit all over the place today. I'm just so excited about this sweater. She knitted, like, this is her second addition to her Maxine collection. She has released the hot water bottle cover last Christmas, like last autumn kind of thing. And the hot water bottle had either 6 colors or 3 colors. This has the same, and I don't know, guys, I'm just so obsessed. And the yarn is so soft. It was really important for me to use a yarn that was super soft against my neck, because I am very sensitive, and this doesn't bother me at all, which is such a win. And I don't know, I'm just so much looking forward to wearing this many more times. I'm obsessed. I could talk about this for hours, which is basically what I'm doing, but let's just get into next things. Yeah, I didn't talk about all of the other yarns, but everything will be mentioned in my Ravelry project page on this sweater. That will be, and yeah, everything will be linked in my description box, along with link to my Ravelry project pages for all of these projects, so you can see the yarns that I used. Oh no, I have another finished object. I thought it was going into the WIPs, but this is very fast. This is a Oslo hat. I designed the sweater, the Sandro pullover. I'm grading it. I hope to get the test call out fairly soon. And I had a lot of leftover yarns. I think I have enough to make this and like a colorwork project as a contrast color kind of thing. And glorious. This is the first Oslo hat that actually fits me the way that I want. I knitted 2 Oslo hats in the past, and they were too tight and too small. I knew, and I know, I don't know why. Basically, I always have to go up at least half a needle size when knitting petite knit patterns. I don't know why I didn't do it with the hat. And recommend the needle size is 3.5 millimeters, and I went up to 4 and knitted the regular size that I was knitting with that I already knitted. This just fits so much better. Do you see I have space? It is just covers my ears perfectly, and I used up basically all of the yarn because I actually like started the crown decreases basically when I was here. Like when I was here, I started them very soon. And I finished, you know, I weighted the yarn. I finished the crown decreases and weighted the yarn again to see how much grams it takes me to do the crown decreases, because that's always what, like, it stresses me a little bit. And this is supposed to be a very much all over stockinette stress-free project. I use 12 grams of drops daisy for the crown shaping. And so now I know I need around that number of grams to knit the thing. And then what I did, it was like a hat surgery. I picked up stitches into, you know, picked up stitches in one round, skipped another round, picked up stitches that other round, cut in the middle, lengthened, and grafted back together. And I feel like you cannot see it. This is a bit awkward, but yeah, awkward pose. But I feel like it, you know, it was a little bit more fuss than just to go straight into like actually knitting it the correct length and then making the crown shaping. But I just wanted to be sure that I had enough yarn, and at the same time I wanted to use basically all the yarn that I had. I think I don't have any left. I just had like this amount that I just weaved it in and cut it, so that's basically most of the yarn. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy with this. Fits really well. I'm going to make another one. So now I know how much it takes, and I'm so happy I did it. Now we can get into the whips. This was supposed to be my like celebrating Scotland project, and I'm so happy so far. I'm knitting, no, I'm not knitting only with, I was about to say I only knitted from like UK based designers. Not true, because yesterday I casted on a new sweater, which is not by an UK based designer, but I feel like 2 out of 3, maybe not counting the Oslo hat, because it's just an accessory, you know, and I already had the pattern. So 2 out of 3 sweaters are from UK based designers, and I'm loving them. And I really wanted to celebrate the fact that I was, you know, moving here and doing the exchange. So I was like, what's more Edinburgh, like what gives off more Edinburgh than the Cravea? And I had purchased that pattern from her, and I really wanted to make it, but I just never got around to actually doing it, and I wasn't finding the correct, not the correct, but what I felt was the right yarn combo or choice. And I don't know if you're ready. I look so good. Oh my god, look at this. This is, as you may notice, this is the Cargill sweater by Rebecca Clow. I feel like she's very well known, and I don't need to recommend her channel, but if you don't watch her, what are you doing with your life? I love her videos, and oh my goodness gracious, this sweater is a work of art and labor of love. And I also had to frog this once, because basically, again, you don't start by knitting the neck. You actually, I don't know if you can notice, but usually in raglans, you cast on the neckline, you knit the neckline, and then you knit short rows to shape, you know, to make the back neck higher. With this, I don't know if you knitted like a V-neck something, you start by working flat, and then when you are at the lowest point of the V-neck, you join in the round. So you like cast on a strip, and then you make increases to go in the front. And that's basically what you do here, but you just don't do it too much like an actual v-neck. You just do it, you know, just you cast on here and then you increase still here, and then you join in the round. And it, because, you know, I don't feel, yeah, I don't think you can incorporate short rows easily into this stitch pattern, which is called a dip stitch, because you actually dip into your knitting and you pull up the loops and things. It's just, it's very addicting. It uses up a lot of yarn because you do have, it's quite a small repeat, so you do have to dip quite often. The sleeves were they were super long because the pattern has like bracelet length sleeves. They basically go till here, but on the designer, but I have longer arms, I think, so I just reached the point where it said to stop, then they would have been like this long. And you know, I'm using Drops Daisy as well for this, and this squishiness, oh my goodness, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm so obsessed. It's so squishy. Because it has very good stitch definition, I think, and it blocks very well. So, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to block this. I cannot wait. And yeah, so you start, I'm just getting lost in my own thoughts. You start here, you join in the round, and this is actually not a, like, the rate of the raglan increases is not constant. And of course, I never read the pattern in full before I start, so I didn't know, and I was just getting into the increasing every other round. I was like, yeah, this is so addicting. I love this stitch pattern. And then I was like, but like, for how long do I have to keep doing this? And it said like, yeah, just do it like 3 or 4 times. And it doesn't, maybe not 3 or 4 times, but do it half of the amount of times that I did, and then switch to increasing every 4 rounds. I'm like, oh no. So I had to rip that back. And I also, you know, Fairbay's designs are not like very oversized and petite knit styles, just not her style. She has less positive ease, but I didn't want this to be super tight fitting. I just wanted like a bit of positive ease and not to be like super oversized, but just in the middle, like 10, 15, something like that, okay? But with size 2, it was a bit too tight, and with size 3, it was a bit too loose, and I liked how it looked on her, so I didn't want to like disrupt the whole thing, the whole style of this sweater, if you know what I mean. And the problem is that I had swatched, I think in the summer, like this past summer, for this sweater with this yarn, and I don't think I got gauge. I never measured because I was a bit too heartbroken, but I'm since forcing myself to knit a bit more loosely. And it is working out, I think, so I just decided to not go up and knit a size because I already did. She's a bit on the looser end of knitting tension, and I was knitting very tightly, and I had to go up on 5mm needles to knit on this, and I was like, that is ridiculous. I just need to loosen up my tension a bit. And this is what I have been doing, and I think it is working out pretty well. But either way, I decided to like play around a bit with the increased rates and to make a size in between the 2nd and the 3rd. But I think I am a bit closer. I'm not exactly size 3. Like this is not exactly size 3 because it has like a shallower like yoke depth, and I was scared that it, you know, where exactly in between size 2 and size 3 that it would be too small. So like too short, too shallow. So I just, it's closer to size 3, but it's still not exactly size 3, and I think it is, yeah, I think it works The neckline is picked up after with a smaller needle. You don't have shaping in the sleeves. That's why they take maybe longer than regular sleeves, but they're so beautiful and like, oh my goodness. And you have like rapid decreases around the cuff. Then you have 1x1 rib, and I did a tubular bind off. I don't know if it's the yarn or if it's me, okay, to have good tension, but just look at the perfection. Okay, I'm not saying it's me, but look how perfect, like, oh my goodness. I don't know. So I did both sleeves just because I needed a bit of break from the body, and I just know that I'm more motivated to finish a project when I have both sleeves done and all I have to do is the body. It's going to take a while to knit the body, but no rush, okay? No rush. I wanted to wear this at the Glasgow School of Yarn festival, which is this weekend, but anyways, I'm not going, so it's not like it is that much of a failure because I'm not going anyways. I have a midterm, I know. Good. Then, oh my goodness, let's get into my new cast on. I just cast it on very recently. I don't even remember when. I started swatching on Tuesday night. So, and if you've seen my fall knitting plans, you knew this was going to happen. Sweater number 29, it's finally on the needles, you guys. I'm obsessed. And can we talk about this nail polish? I stole it from one of my accommodation friends. She's very nice. I taught her how to knit and she's knitting a sweater now. Just saying, just putting it. I'm not going into the whole story because that would be long, but gorgeous, gorgeous. So this is, as I said, sweater number 29 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I'm using, oh, I'm sorry, I just, like, all of my yarn was vacuum sealed, so it's a bit squished. I'm using Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the shade Dusty Artichoke. I have been dreaming about sweater number 15 in Dusty Artichoke, but that calls for a figuring and a mohair, and I don't want to invest in a mohair because it's way too warm from the climate that I usually live in, and usually it is scratchy. I know that Knitting for Olive silk mohair is called soft silk mohair, and most people find it pretty soft, but it is also pretty expensive, so I don't know, I just wasn't into it, and that's why I never made the sweater. But when she came out with this, and it was the saddle shoulder, which is something I was super interested in, and this is a worsted weight pattern. She actually uses a mohair as well. She does DKN mohair, but heavy merino, it's perfect for that because it is worsted. We're finally knitting something similar in the Dusty Artichoke color. I'm in awe, you guys. You can tell that I'm in my like pastel era, I think, but like, how could I not be? Come on. I'm in love. I'm in love. So this is, as I said, a saddle shoulder construction, and how that works is that you knit these like rectangles first. You knit two and you put the live stitches on hold, and then you either do the front or the back. I don't think it's very, like, you break the yarn lots of times, so I don't think it's very important whether you do the back first or the front first, but you pick up stitches. For the back, you pick up stitches along here, you cast on more stitches, pick up stitches along here, and you knit short rows, if you can tell, like you knit short rows to have a great fit on the shoulders. Then for the front, you just do, you know, you pick one from one shoulders and you knit the short rows while knitting the neck increases. Same thing on the other shoulders. Break the yarn multiple times, join the front, and then this is what 2 skeins, I think. I'm going to correct myself on the screens if this is not correct. This is what 2 skeins, this is where they got me. This is where 2 skeins got me. I want to join a new ball, finish the front yoke. I just have to do the underarm shaping like the back, and then I can join in the round, which is very exciting. Then when I'm done that ball, I really want to put the neckline on, because it has one of my so University of Edinburgh has a knitting society, and one of the girls in the knitting society was knitting this sweater, and that's why I'm kind of rushing to get it done so we can match. But basically it looks like it has a folded collar, but that's actually not true. And like, I know how it works because she told me, so I'm not going to say to you now, but I'll give you more information when I actually get there. I cannot wait to do the collar, and let's just pop it on quickly. You have tons of ends to weave in. I get it. Like, even more than you think. You break the yarn more frequently than what I thought. And yeah, also I'm knitting size medium, which is 1 size up, just because of the length of the saddle shoulders. I have this very pet peeve of mine, which is if a sweater it's oversized, like very oversized, I want the shoulders to drop proportionately to how oversized it is. And I don't know, I felt like basically you have size extra small, small, medium, large, etc. For size extra small and small, you finish your saddle shoulders here, and that's basically, you know, this is where the top of my shoulder, so I feel like that wasn't dropping enough for my taste, so I decided to go to a size medium. It's pretty oversized, so I'll maybe just cast on less stitches on the underarms, but to be honest, if it's bigger, it's not a problem for me. I'm gonna be honest, I love an oversized sweater. And yeah, this was also like grow with blocking, you know, and guys, I just cannot wait. I'm so like, I haven't worked that much on the Cargill because I just, you know, this is just how many days? 2 or 3 days of knitting. I've just been obsessed with this, so you know, that's just what it is. I'll just be working on this more than the Cargill. I'll make like maybe daily, like I want to do 5 repeats a day kind of thing on the Cargill until I finish. And then yes, we can get into the acquisitions. Very exciting. I have to start another test knit for my knitting pal Journey Through Yarns, Rebecca. She just put into test the West Sand sweater, which is inspired by West Sand Beach in St. Andrews, and we actually went there together for like just a day trip, and that was glorious. I went to Ginger Twist Studio to get some yarn. Yeah, and I had a vision for the sweater. I wanted it like kind of black and white. I'll put a picture of it. It's like a raglan with funnel neck and stripes of colorwork, and I wanted it to be like some kind of more modern and more like not simple, but like clean or minimalistic. I want to be like to have a more minimalistic look, because I just finished this, and this doesn't give off like very minimalistic. Like, it's beautiful. You know how much I love this sweater. I've talked about it for hours, but you know, I just wanted something that gave off a different vibes. I didn't want colorful. I wanted neutral black and white. This, like, shout out to the lady working at Ginger Twist, because I was there like for 40 minutes just being a witch. which of the many grays that you have, and let's not talk about it. But this is the yarn combo that I decided to go with, that I had decided to go with. If you know me, either in real life or you've been following, you can maybe see the problem that I am having with this. I'll give you a couple more seconds. Okay, I was, you know, I didn't regret buying this yarn because, like, look at it, this is lovely, and this smells like sheep so much, which is not my favorite, but you know, it's local, so I will love it as it deserves. And so the yarns that I had, they are a mixture of two bases of the same brand. These are both yarns from West Yorkshire Spinners, which is, I think it's British firm and like yarn brand producer. And I have fleece, like this fleece, it's called fleece, Jacob fleece maybe, and it's 100% British wool and it's like the, which color is it? I don't know, I've never read the tags of this, so it will take me a bit to find the colorway. But yeah, it is 100% British wool, DK, 100 grams for 225 meters, gauge of 22 stitches, reared, sheared, and spun in Britain. So I was correct. I cannot find the color name, but it's the cream, it's the white, it's the natural white. And then I have the second base, it's West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft, 100% Shetland wool. And so the black and light gray are the Croft Shetland wool, and this is British wool, the fleece. And this feels so much softer than this, but as you know, the white is supposed to be the main color. I was a bit undecided because in this exact color they have another base, which is another, maybe it's blue face Leicester, I don't remember, but another type of wool, which was definitely more, like, a lot softer than the British wool, but it was also more expensive. So I was like, it's okay, it's not, like, I can feel it's there, but it's not that bad. It's like almost neutral. But the problem with this yarn, the second thoughts that I'm having there for the colors, because this is very yellowy, which, to be honest, I like, and I don't feel like it doesn't suit me that much, because it's not like too warm of a yellow, it's still like a cooler yellow. Yeah, but it's more yellow than what it is white. And you know, yarn was a bit maybe too scratchy for my neck, and the color wasn't, you know, it's not giving off the vibes that I wanted. Kinda, I wanted a really bright white. And yeah, this is the other color of the fleece that I got. Very pretty. So I'm very set on these for the colorwork stripes. But I ordered some new yarn to replace this. Like this, I'm going to use for some more colorwork projects at home. Like, it's not like this is going to go to waste. Are we kidding? Absolutely not. I think I already know what contrast color I want to pair this with, so absolutely no worries, I'm going to use it. And yeah, actually I was just cleaning my apartment before filming, and I got a message from my accommodation reception that I received a parcel. So I actually didn't open the yarn yet, so maybe you can do that together. Yes, wrong colorway. I ordered two, so white supposed to be in here, so pretty sure this is not what I ordered. I thought I ordered Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. Guys, I ordered the wrong yarn. As it is listed on the website, there is Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. And then there is Filcolana Pernilla Peruvian Highland wool 4-ply sport weight. And I think I just saw Peruvian Highland wool and I maybe clicked it wrong. And also I was confused because this is supposed to be Snow White, and it's like the exact same color. I'm so pissed at myself. You know, this is yellow. This is yellow like this is. They're the exact same color. I was like, why is this Snow White so yellow? That's because they probably don't have a Snow White in the Pernilla, and they just ordered the white. And Pernilla is also more expensive than what Peruvian is. Peruvian is 3.6 pounds, while Pernilla is 4.2 pounds. There is another base, I don't remember which one, another Filcolana base that it's basically half of Peruvian. Like it's the same Peruvian Highland wool, but it's just thinner, and if you hold that double, then it's the same weight as Peruvian. But this is 4th weight, so I cannot hold the double to make it decay. It's going to make like an Aran weight. So yes, this is not what I was expecting. That's so great. That's so great. I'll maybe ask them if I can return it. I'm not sure. Oh my god. Because every time because you know, it's not their fault, so I don't know if I can return them, but I'm not going to open the package. And okay, that wasn't the happiest note, but at least I have the Peruvian in the gray. Yeah, it's very, I feel like it is very nice and soft. Yeah, I felt it in my local yarn shop here, and I thought it was very lovely. So here you are. This is what it was supposed to show up for both, but you know, I had to reload the chart many times, so maybe I just clicked it wrong. I don't know. I'm not the happiest now, I'm not going to lie. So hello, hey, this is the charcoal color of the Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love this. It is for a gift knit, so I'm not gonna say what that is for, but for Christmas, and they had 4 balls in stock, and I'll probably have almost half of this amount left, but it's okay. Yeah, so I really wanted to start swatching for the test knit. I'll have to wait again. I really hope they're going to make me return it in exchange for the Peruvian, for the right one, you know. But I you know, I'm just a girl. I never posted anything, not even in Italy, so I really don't know how that works. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit thrown off by it, but you know, it's just my fault. Yay! Last but not least acquisition. It's something that I bought alongside the yarn, the contrast colored yarns for the Maxine. I purchased this at the it's called the Yarn Festival, the Scottish Yarn Festival. Bought it there. You know, in Italy we're not huge on hand-dyed yarns, and I don't even know if I am as a person huge on how they look. I mean, they look amazing in this cane, but I don't know if they're my style knitting as a sweater. So but I really wanted to try knitting socks with hand-dyed yarn. So I just got a skein of hand-dyed sock yarn. It's so beautiful. I love this so much. It's basically like, it has sprinkles of rust and military green taupey things, but it has some peaches and some pinks in it as well. Wow. And it is from Nervous Fibres, which was one of the vendors at the yarn festival. Look how cute the tag is. Oh my goodness. This is one of the perks of buying from like hand-dyed indie dyers, from indie dyers, I think. Look how cute. And the colorway is called Tremble, and this is very classic sock yarn. This is 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. Weight, fingering weight, meterage 425 meters, hand-dyed in Glasgow, Scotland. So here we have another Scottish yarn. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm just so thrown off by the Pernilla mistake, but yeah, everything is good. Definitely. Yeah, I really don't want to end this podcast on a negative note. I'm just a bit stressed, okay? I'm so happy I talked to you guys today. If you managed to watch till the end and just survive my rambling and my yapping, thank you so much for doing that. I've been trying to post more frequently on my Instagram. I've been posting one picture a day. So I'm very proud of myself. Of course, they'll schedule, because if I had to do it manually every day, that wouldn't work at all. So if you want to see more like frequent updates from me, follow me on there. I'm planning to make many more videos this fall and winter season. This is just one of the many. So if you want to see what projects will be coming next, go watch my fall knitting plans. And if you want to stick around and be notified every time I post a new video, you can subscribe to this channel and activate the bell, or you can not do that and that will be fine as well. I'm so glad that you've kept me company. Let me know if and what you worked on while watching this video, because I think that you guys are knitting on so many amazing projects at the moment, so I really want to know updates on them, and if you casted on something new, I would really appreciate that. And yeah, again, thank you for sticking till the end, and till next time, I hope you have a wonderful time knitting, and I hope you're healthy, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye guys.